I think we're gonna start the video with this because this was just an awful loss. You know, this is like a bad feeling kind of loss. And the one that I clicked 5 stars for was a good feeling kind of loss. But you can't quantify why. I was like, hey, good job, Brandon people in a pub match. We did really fucking good. You know, we held out for 22 minutes and we took objectives against us a 3-6 stack that deathballed us multiple times, and we're very coordinated. I could go ahead and download the replay, but I'm not going to, because just look at these fucking numbers. Compare that to these, where yeah, there's still a 0 or 2, but you can tell everyone tried, or at least had the capability of getting something done, and that was really enhanced by the communication that was going on during the match. So in this clip, Seven and I had been doing pretty good laning. We understood that the other wasn't going to be diving and doing anything crazy, and jumping at an opponent like that is an okay thing to do. This clip, I had been telling my teammates that my ultimate was on cooldown. I'll be heading that way shortly. Gave him the 10 seconds. Somebody else was also coming from the furthest out lane. We weren't trying to make a sneaky gank. We were just trying to make a solid push for the objective. We accomplished that, again, because people were communicating. I've been talking to my laning teammates and the teammates in the other lane that, hey, just play safe for a little bit. My ultimate's on cooldown for a minute. I will be there. Told them 30 seconds, 10-second cooldown, and we made it happen. Seven is using his ultimate as a zoning tool. I had used mine similarly earlier, but as soon as he popped it, I dashed over as quick as I could. When I realized it, he was using it to zone, I hopped up and I did some visual sweeps to make sure that nobody was, you know, still around. Over here, Dynamo really rotated good. I didn't realize that everybody was there until I hopped out, and then I had to pop my ultimate. Pretty sure the Wraith ult helped me because it kept me up in the air, helping me drain for more people. Did get taken down by the Paradox swap and Vindicta shot. So we did pretty good. You know, we held them off from taking that objective for a long time, and it did take them a few minutes after I went down. And this one, the team was responding to enemies pushing the lane. It was me and 2 other guys showed up, Geist and Seven. We ended up getting this kill. I'm upset I didn't land this second punch of mine. Usually I'm pretty good about redirecting. That's okay, we secured it. Here is an urn drop off where we're coordinating. It's closer to our side, but I'm still just trying to apply pressure further up the lane, making sure that we can, you know, keep out as many people as possible. And then the team got the urn drop off. They got a good kill again because Dynamo was hanging out. My team is waiting, keeping an eye on Vindicta and not charging into a fight. I managed to get close enough, flying ended, and then with this clamp you can see the hail of bullets that come down because the teammates were hanging out nearby. And so that's just an excellent example of coordination and communication working together. In this, it's mostly about the got. You can see everybody's kind of flowing together, staying properly. Pocket didn't listen to Geist when she said she'd be right back, so he, you know, got picked, unfortunately. And then you can see us all kind of rotating back around to this lane. Unfortunately, Mo and Krill wasn't there, and it kind of ends up being our last push. You can see us kind of leapfrogging over each other there. Bebop did get the hook, and I did stick around on Bebop because he was the closest and a stationary target, basically. But I should have gone around trying to get anybody else who wasn't him. And then after this, yeah, it was kind of game over. The reason the 5-star loss was rated 5 stars is because people were communicative, they were talking about the game, and they were at least doing their best. You could honestly tell that they were doing their best, even though a lot of times we were getting, I mean, you know, we got stomped the entire match, but regardless, you could tell people were doing their best. They were expressing themselves in a way that wasn't like, oh, this other character's fucking stupid. All of these other games, and especially this last one, nobody communicated. Nobody asked for help. Nobody said what was going on. It was just a bunch of individuals doing their own thing. These kinds of games devolve into a series of 1v1 fights that might become 2v1s or something like that, but really it's a bunch of individuals trying to pit themselves against others and then getting jumped by enemy teams because the enemy team actually wants to play the game the way it was intended to be played and not as a bunch of 1v1s. All right, so you've got your teammates, and your teammates are either odd shapes or no, just joking. Your teammates are either close together, right, or they're far apart and they're in all the different lanes, right? If we draw points around the furthest among them, okay, so with a close together team like this, you can have an encapsulation like this, and that would be, you know, an ideal scenario. The other situation, of course, is you've got everybody set up in such a way that nobody is in the middle. You know, the closest points between A and B all end up doing something like this, right? So these are your two ideal situations. And then, of course, you've got this one, right? The closest points between A and B and all of this stuff. And not only can you not easily close this shape, but if you do close the shape, like if you force it to make polygons, this area is obviously massive compared to what's going on here. So, right, this could fit in a lane, right? We'll say you're in this lane. Your team's moving down wherever it is. They're staying together. Compared to this situation where you've all seen it before. Everybody's coming back from base, they're moving up, and then they start branching off in different directions. They all go to different lanes, or they go to the neutral camps over in these spots. That's what you want to avoid most of the time. You know, occasionally, sure, it's all right to go hit all the lanes and come back together, but spending the entire game like this is generally what ends up in losses, right? If you don't spend time together moving as a unit, then this is gonna end up be the main cause of you losing. And I think that's the best way to summarize why the games that aren't fun aren't fun. People playing a team game don't end up playing as a team. Only when the game is almost over and everyone's crushed down into the base in a desperate bid for defense. But by then it's too late. It's not fun being cramped up in a little spot. It's fun to be free roaming and own the entire map and being able to fly from one lane to another. Those things start happening when you work with your team.